Hello, I'm Jennifer Casler Price. I'm curator of Asian, African, and Ancient American art at the Kimbell Art Museum. And today I would like to talk about one of my favorite works in the Kimbell collection. It's a charming terracotta sculpture from India, made in the Gupta period around the 5th, 6th century AD, and it depicts Ganesha. And Ganesha is the most popular deity in the Hindu pantheon. Now, why is he the most popular deity? Because Ganesha is widely revered as the remover of obstacles. And I feel that in these trying times, we could all benefit with a little help from Ganesha. So there's hardly a Hindu home that does not have an image of Ganesha in some form. Even I have a Ganesha in my home that I keep on my nightstand to help protect me. And so Ganesha is also the patron of arts and writing, and he is also the god of intellect and wisdom. So he has a lot going on for him. Now, why does Ganesha have an elephant head, you might ask? So Ganesha's parents are Shiva and Parvati. And Shiva is one of the principal deities in the Hindu pantheon, and his consort is the beautiful goddess Parvati. Now, Shiva is a very passionate god and a little bit restless. So he's always going out into the world and leaving Parvati behind, all alone. And so one day, while Shiva was away, Parvati decided that she was going to create a companion. And she was in her bath and she was scraping the oils from her skin as she was taking a bath. And she took that sort of ball of clay and she formed it into a young child, a young boy. So another day, Parvati was again taking a bath and Ganesha was guarding the doorway. And Shiva unexpectedly comes home. And Shiva doesn't know who Ganesha is, and Ganesha doesn't know who Shiva is, and Shiva demands to be let in to see Parvati, and Ganesha will not let him in. And so in a rage, Shiva lops off the boy's head. And as you can imagine, Parvati is completely distressed. And so Shiva says, all right, I will replace his head with the first living creature that I see. And that happened to be an elephant. So that is how Ganesha got his elephant head. We can also see that he has a very kind of chubby, rotund body of a young child. And so the elephant head and the little chubby body also kind of help to make him a very approachable and a very lovable deity. Now, some of his other attributes that we see here that are quite distinctive is that he has 4 arms. And we might think this is also unusual, but in the Hindu religion, many deities have multiple heads and multiple arms. And basically, it just symbolizes the fact that they have a multiplicity of superhuman powers. So the more hands you have, the more implements you can hold and the more power you can wield. So that's why he has 4 arms. What is he holding? It's a little hard to see because the sculpture is made out of terracotta and it has suffered some damage, but I'm going to point out what would have been in the original piece. In his lower left hand, he would have been holding a bowl of sweets. Young boys always like to eat sweets, and so he's eating the sweets with his curved trunk. His trunk is curved to the left to grab the bowl of sweets in his left hand. In his upper left hand, he would have been holding a rosary. In his upper right hand, he is holding probably a noose of sorts, a weapon of sorts. And then in his lower right hand, he would have held a broken tusk. Now, why is he holding a broken tusk? And it's his own broken tusk, which you can see that one of his tusks here is broken off. So another good story, another good legend about Ganesha is that He was the scribe that wrote down the great Hindu epic, the Mahabharata, that was dictated to him by an Indian sage. The Mahabharata is very lengthy. Think of it as sort of like Homer's Odyssey. And so he is furiously writing down the Mahabharata, and he's using a quill pen, a feather quill, and it breaks. And so he doesn't want to stop writing, and so he breaks off his own tusk and continues to write down the Mahabharata. So another really good story about Ganesha. And then we also see that there are, he has a wonderful snake wrapped around his torso, kind of curling around his torso, and a third eye. And these are attributes that connect him to his father Shiva. Shiva also has a snake and the all-knowing, all-seeing third eye. And we also see that he is adorned in a wonderful sort of floral crown set inside a halo. And flanking him, flying above him, are two celestial beings, two apsaras. And they are holding some sort of a banner or canopy above his head. And the whole piece is really beautifully sculpted. There's a lot of plasticity. There's a lot of depth. It's quite three-dimensional. There's a lot of movement and energy in the piece. It's really extraordinary. And then finally, in the lower right-hand corner here, we see a devotee. He also has been damaged. He's missing his head and his hands, but we can clearly see that his hands are positioned as if he is either praying to Ganesha or quite possibly making offerings to Ganesha, offerings that we call puja. And these offerings would be made by the devotee to ask Ganesha to grant them success, maybe on an exam, or to grant them prosperity, or to protect them from adversity, or to remove obstacles that are in their path. And so I feel that we all need a little Ganesha these days to help remove those obstacles that we're facing on a day-to-day basis. So I hope that you've enjoyed your introduction to Ganesha today. I hope that you are all staying well and staying safe and strong. And I will look forward to talking about another Kimbell piece in the future, and I hope you'll join me. So thank you so much.